Hello, I'm Colin Jenkinson, and this is part 2 of the Substitute Teacher. Right, last time we talked about doing some easy subs on the G7th chord. We had the G7th chord, of course, which is that thing. And we did a substitution off the 5th, which is a minor or minor 7th. And here's the substitution. And we also did one off of the flat 7. And we did a major 7th off of this. And let me give a demo of those two together as a fill at the end of a phrase. Improvisation. Alright, now the last chord tone that's really obvious to work on now would be the major third. This B right here. And we're going to use a sub of a B half diminished chord, which is B, D, F, and A. And here's an example of the G7th with the B half diminished as a little fill at the end. Alright, so that basically covers the 4 chord tones of the G7th, doing some basic, very diatonic subs. Now I'm going to show you some basic extensions to the G7th, and then we'll do some subs off those extensions. One of my favorites to do off of the G7 and many other people is the major 6, which you'll find 2 frets above your perfect 5th. Classic examples like a Carol K. lip riff of Beach Boys. Or your typical blues. Let's take this 6 and put it here, and you'll get your that's adding a flat 7 with the major 6. And a million other ideas, which I don't have time to go through right now. And a basic sub off of the 6 would be yet another minor 7th. So here's a 6 up here. That's a minor 7th. So let's try that with a little fill. Now another extension. Oh, the 6 extension on the chord can also be known as a 13. And we'll go into that on more on some other lessons. The next one I'd like to do is the 2nd, 2 frets above your root, also known as a 9th. And here's an example of just adding it to the G7th chord in a groove. Alright, now, basic, yet again, we can use a minor 7th chord off of this as a sub. Alright, and last but not least, as far as the simple extensions, is the perfect 4th, also known as your 11th extension. This C note right here. And again, this one works with a nice major 7th. I'm going to show you a little lick that's a little different. Similar to the one I showed in the previous lesson, which was taking perfect fifth and sliding up a major third. Your octaves right here. You can try a little power chord of 3 notes. Move it up major third, and just above that fifth right here, octave again. So that's C major 7th. Alright, so let's try that with the G7 and tag it on to the end as something to tag on at the end. A little bit longer than I wanted, but hopefully you get the idea. I just went to the 4th, did a sus4 type thing, and then did the substitution at the end. Alright. And I'm going to play the G7th chord, and I'm going to play all these substitutions in some sort of logical manner, starting with the 9, etc. So here we go. G7th. Off of the 9th. Back to G7th. Let's try the third this time. And what's the 3rd? Oh yeah, half diminished. Back to G7th. Off the 4th. G7th. Off the 5th. G7th again. 6. That was a minor 7th. Off the flat 7. I think we got them all on that one. All right. Thank you, and any questions, just post them, and I'll be sure to answer them. And we'll see you next time on The Substitute Teacher.
Beep.